Nico Harrison was finally fired. This had to be done, obviously, for the Dallas Mavericks to move forward, both for the fans and for the franchise. You had the fire Nico chants happening while the Dallas Mavericks are at the free throw line with a chance to tie the game. It's an overdue decision, right? Like, this should have happened 9 months ago when Nico Harrison proposed to Patrick Dumont, hey, I think we should trade our mid-20-year-old megastar Luka Dončić to the Lakers. Should have been done then. Well, it's finally happened at least. It's unfortunate that Patrick Dumont ever let this happen. It's kind of weird. I mean, usually new owners, they meddle a lot, like way too much. We saw that in Phoenix. We see it all the time across the league. We saw that years ago with the Kings when they got their new owner. But in this case, Dumont and the Adelson family didn't meddle enough. They were too hands-off, too trusting in the GM they inherited in Nico Harrison. And I know a lot of people are like, well, two people made this trade. Nico Harrison came with the idea and all that, but Patrick Dumont approved it. That's true. That's true. Dumont 100% deserves blame here, but as Shams Charania said earlier today on ESPN, it was Nico Harrison's decision, pitch, and idea to trade Luka. And that's why I tend to take the perspective that Nico was at fault. Dumont was just overlooking this guy that he inherited, and he should have meddled in this situation instead of being hands-off. A lot of the time it's good when an owner is hands-off, not in this situation. So Nico Harrison, nincompoop, he's gone. Patrick Dumont, he's looking like a dummy too, and that's where with Dallas here, just because Nico's gone, it doesn't mean that everything's going to be good going forward here with this situation. So who's Dumont going to hire? Well, we know so far that Michael Finley and Matt Riccardi are going to take over as interim general manager. Does this mean they're going to be the long-term hire? We don't know that quite yet. We don't know. But in this situation, Finley and Riccardi were both in the front office when Nico was, up to trying to trade Luka for injury-prone Anthony Davis and not a lot else. And the deal still happened. From here, I think Mavericks fans, congrats. Like, you feel good today. You feel like you can start to move forward. But Finley, Riccardi, Dumont, this whole new regime in the Mavericks front office, they got to do the logical thing here. The Mavericks have to blow it up. They have to trade Anthony Davis. They have to trade Kyrie Irving once he's healthy. They have to trade Klay Thompson, whatever he has left. They have to trade D'Angelo Russell. And for that matter, listen to offers for the other younger guys, P.J. Washington, Caleb Martin, Daniel Gafford, Najee Marshall. The Mavericks, they're below 500 right now, but AD will be back. Kyrie could come back. Klay could remember how to play basketball again at some point. I don't know what's going on there. And suddenly these wins could pile up, and suddenly it could be a team that's around 500 in the play-in, and that's not good. That's not good because the Mavericks aren't a contender. They're nowhere near the championship contender that Nico Harrison fantasized about. The Mavericks are playoff fodder at best. This is a team that's just going to get sloshed in the first round at best. And in reality, that's not at best. That's the worst case scenario. You don't want to be stuck in the middle. And because you look at Dallas's future pick situation, they have their own first rounder in 2026. So, maybe they miss the play-in and they get lucky with the 11th best odds and move up again. Highly unlikely. They have their own pick in 2026. They only have their pick in 2027 if it's in the top two, but the 27 draft class projects to be very, very weak. And even if they did have the worst record in 27, there's only a 27.4% chance that pick would actually end up in the top two. So after 2026, they basically don't have their first round pick again until 2031. And the 2026 draft this year is loaded. A.J. Bonsa from BYU, Darren Peterson from Kansas, Cam Boozer from Duke, and many others, especially that could push Boozer for the third best prospect in the draft. But Peterson and Bonsa, these guys are for real. I've been covering these guys every week on my podcast because this is a historic draft. It's just to put it in perspective for Mavericks fans. You're like really excited to get Cooper Flagg in the draft last year. Cooper Flagg definitely would have been the third pick at best this year. At best would have been the third pick. Might have been fourth, might have been fifth. That's how great the 2026 draft class is. This isn't an overreaction. It is very possible that this draft class feels better in June than it does today as we're recording in mid-November, considering the potential development of all of these other prospects. And all of them, by the way, look better than anticipated way early in the college basketball season. So for Dallas, to truly move forward, this organization, in my belief, they have to clean the slate. They have to start over. They fired Nico. Now they got to trade the pieces that he brought in, the reminders of him, the anchors that are going to hold back this franchise. And that's how you truly build something new again that can attract the fans back who left the team and make the team appealing to the new generation of kids who are coming up, becoming basketball fans. You want a team that feels like it has promise like it did with Luka. And so, look, like Dallas lucked out. They had the 11th best odds. They moved up to number one, and they got Cooper Flagg. And you got to build something new alongside this bright spot in Cooper, and that's ultimately all that matters right now. Cooper Flagg's development. And so far this season, he's been put in a position to fail. So far this season, 70 players have run at least 100 pick and rolls. Flagg is second worst in the NBA in pick and roll scoring efficiency. He should not be playing point guard. It is a position to fail for him. He needs to be having a bit more balance on ball, attacking closeouts, less demand with bringing the ball up the floor. It's ridiculous what Jason Kidd has done, and maybe he's another guy that should be in the hot seat as well. And so getting back to the picks here, after 2026, they don't have their rights to any of them until 2031. They have to nail trading Anthony Davis. AD is going to be 33 by the end of the year. He's in the first year of a 3-year, $175 million deal. This year he has a $54.1 million cap hit. And so any team that would trade for AD is a team that has to feel that, they might be really dumb like the Mavericks, but largely it's teams that feel like they're either one move away and they have movable pieces. And I've got two trade ideas that I want to talk to you guys about. One of them, the Atlanta Hawks. AD for Kristaps Porzingis, Luke Kennard, and Asa Newell with some future picks. That deal would bring in $41 million of expiring money for Dallas, a nice young player, and Asa Newell, and then they'd have a bunch of future picks. The Hawks do, some of their own, some from others, so Atlanta could put together some type of package that might be appealing for Dallas. I like that one for Atlanta because I think this KP health thing, I root for the guy. I love Kristaps Porzingis. I've been a fan of him for over a decade now, since 2 years before he was in the NBA. I love that dude. He was like Wemby for me, like the 7'3" guy doing this stuff on the perimeter before Wemby was a thing. KP is an awesome player, awesome, and I wish he would stay healthy, but I don't trust it. And Atlanta is fully committed to trying to win, and so I think AD is a guy that elevates their chances. And for Dallas, it's a pretty good return. It's not what you gave up, but it's pretty good. Second trade idea, the Pistons. We're seeing Detroit right now play without Tobias Harris. They're playing with a lot of two bigs, Isaiah Stewart, Beef Stew, and Jalen Duren, and it's working at a high level like I talked about on my podcast last week with Tom Haverstraw. So here's another idea involving Detroit. AD for Tobias Harris, Karis LeVert, Jaden Ivey, and future picks. This deal would bring in $36 million of expiring money for Dallas, Ivey expiring with high upside, and the Pistons have all of their future picks. Again, a team that could get creative. So for Detroit, this would be more of a commitment to playing with two bigs, AD and Duren. Their defense would elevate up to an even higher level. Isaiah Stewart can play with AD. You can play with one big. It would just give them an immense amount of lineup versatility. And for the Dallas Mavericks, again, it's not what you gave up, but you could get some quality future picks. And so those are two trade ideas. I'd love for you to comment with any trade ideas that you have, whether it's AD, whether it's Clay or D'Lo or PJ Washington, whoever. And I'm just curious in general, like, do you guys even agree with me? Am I nuts for saying the Mavericks should blow it up? Am I being too trigger happy? Because I know I have a reputation for wanting teams to blow it up, but there haven't been many teams in recent years that I've felt like they got to blow it up. And so I just look at Dallas and I'm like, what's the alternative? Assets are depleted. You have your own first in 26 and then not another one until 2031. This team is going nowhere. which is why you're firing Nico Harrison at this point. Nico says this team is going to contend for a championship, and then they're 5 games under 500, 11 games into the season, and it's a disaster. And the fans are chanting, fire him, while the team has a chance to win a game. Like, it's just ugly, man. Like, they had to do this, and this team is not a contender in the Western Conference. They have been lapped. They have been. And so that's why firing Nico Harrison just can't be the end. Patrick Dumont can't, pat himself on the back and say, "Oh, good job. It's over. We did it. We moved on." No. Firing Nico Harrison needs to be the beginning for the Dallas Mavericks, a brand new era. This can't be over right now. The big moves continue starting today.